Shishu.
She's, I mean, I vote on calling her like Chicha.
Shisha.
Ay, Shisha, Shisha, Shisha. Let's talk about why she shouldn't be on air anymore. She should not be given a platform, and she most definitely should not be in a family television show.
It's my opinion! Difficult conversations, but yes, agree.
Yeah. Not for us, but for Scheana, they're difficult conversations.
It's like some of the more like heavy stuff that we
Yeah.
have talked about. To be like,
Yeah.
ban her from the show, you know? But I agree.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's very straightforward. Like some of the things she's done is like, I mean, to be honest, some of the stuff she's done is the worst than what Sandoval has done.
Yes, agreed.
She is more dangerous than anything that Sandoval has done.
More
I mean,
perform
barring
more performative even.
it's more performative, but like barring whatever's gonna happen with the lawsuit with Rochelle's lawsuit, is more dangerous, right? Like, wait, but let's say that the lawsuit turns out like to not be in Sandoval's favor, and he did record that call. Let's say, then they're pretty much at par, or they're at like a
Right.
semi tie, right? Like, Scheana's not that far behind. Like Scheana's kind of winning on the perpetrator front.
Yeah.
So let's get into it and let's go semi chronological order.
Okay.
Starting with well, one the way the show started is that she was sleeping with who was Brandy Glanville's husband.
Yes. Eddie
That alone is like being
Ciabatta's
yeah,
like not actually Ciabatta, but something very close, obviously not Ciabatta.
and this alone does not this alone I wouldn't say like oh she needs to be off the show at all because that is the show. And that's not as criminal as other things that she's done.
Yeah, but from the beginning, season one, I was team Katie and Stassi and Kristen and was like, yeah, this woman is untrustworthy. And not to get off of chronological, I'm just gonna jump real quick. They were right. The whole time they were right. But anyway,
Yeah,
this
well,
season proved it.
the reason I'm starting there is like 13 years later, let's not pretend that this woman hasn't had like the moral judgment of a roach. You know, it's like let's not pretend that she didn't know because Brandy Glanville, her husband,
Yeah.
celebrity couple. This isn't like, oh, Joe Schmo down the street lied to me and they were he was still with his wife or something like where like no these are public figures, it's very easy Google search, are they still together? You cannot hide behind the fact, and you're also in the industry and you know people that
Yeah,
know them.
yeah.
Yeah, you're not like innocent here, and let's not
And I'm not,
pretend.
I've never been Team Brandy, but I do remember sympathizing with her about this. And she has explained, but it was so long ago, I don't remember the details, but she has explained how it would be extremely unlikely for her to not have known.
Gina claiming that she didn't know, and then later Lala claiming that she didn't know that her booger was married. Like
You
it's just
next
like
guy.
we don't believe it. Like let's cut it out because men do take advantage of women and they do cheat, but it was very easy for you to find out. Like don't pretend that you were fooled the way so many other women are.
The way
Because
Ariana was. Because that's what her whole thing is like, why like not me and Ariana? It's because you were never fooled. You were like you just your trick failed. Like you fumbled the bag. Like, what do you want us to do about it?
what it's very different in like yeah, you obviously were just like going after someone that was famous. You could have found out that he was married very easily. And then if we're gonna bring Ariana into it, like Tom and Ariana, which is not the topic, but like let's say like It's different when it's like your coworker. Tom wasn't as well known at the time. Kristen and him were breaking up every other week. Per both of them and the show, they were
Kristen
breaking off on and off.
was
Kristen,
sleeping with other people, including Jax.
both Tom and Kristen were sleeping with other people and
Including
lying to each other and breaking up every other week. So yeah, it makes sense how like you could have been tricked that way, but with the Glanville marriage, like you could have you could definitely just be like, okay, they've been married for a very long time and they're not separated yet.
Yeah, you could just do this. And that's it.
Yeah, so like let's not rewrite history. Obviously, she's a homewrecker, and I'm not saying that she can't change her ways, but the fact that she's still with this story of like I didn't know and I'm innocent, and now Sandoval is throwing it in my face is like have like some redemption, and then we'll talk. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
but whatever. Like, yeah, I definitely didn't want it to be as much as like what we said, but yeah, like obviously from the start, homewrecker. And then the way she treated her ex-husband during his addiction,
Worst. Like the homewrecking thing, like
heinous.
not even the worst thing she's done.
I was absolutely appalled watching while it was happening that this guy is going through an addiction and she's telling him, I could never I could never be married to someone that's sober. And
Yeah.
you're hearing this from someone that you think you're gonna spend the rest of your life with.
That you're
I could never be with someone that's going to be sober, and this guy's going through addiction. And then I started reading, and it turns out that he had already not kicked his addiction, but he was already in recovery.
yeah.
And Scheana made it seem like he was still using.
Oh wait, really?
So he was in recovery, and then they started filming in like between season 4 and 5, I think. They started filming. And so the scenes where she says he's addicted to this and he's undergoing this, he was already in recovery. So she's kind of like producing the addiction, which is like maybe they did go through these conversations and she's just reenacting for the show, but that's horrendous for someone that's just been a few months into recovery.
Wow, that's crazy.
How dare you? You know, like that to me is like, oh, and when I found out,
I the more that time passes, the more I feel for him.
and then can you imagine that that happened? Like when you're going through recovery and doing that, and then you're saying like she's publicizing that he's still using while he's in recovery.
Ugh.
And at the same time, she's saying, I could never be with someone that's sober. The mental strength of that man to keep going on his recovery. Because can you imagine if someone was like
Good for him.
using you like that
Yeah.
and manipulating you that way? It's disgusting. And she's never, ever, ever apologized for any of that.
Never.
And then season 5, episode 21, they talk about their divorce. And this is super important. They talk about their divorce. Shay had no idea that she was gonna ask for a divorce.
I didn't know that.
She had him meet her to talk. So he knew that it was going to be a serious conversation. He did not know it was going to be about the divorce. He did not know that cameras were going to be there. So you're after doing all that to someone that's in recovery, and then you just throw a bomb for everyone to see, for it to be televised. You had no
Surprise.
idea.
Yeah, blindsided.
That's disgusting. Like some of the things she's been doing to Ariana, talking about her behind her back and just backstabbing left and right, you see that manipulation, but you see it done to her ex-husband. That is so gross.
Yeah.
That is so gross. I personally like that alone, forget like homewrecker, like whatever happens. That's what reality TV is. Reality TV is full of those, right? But what she did to Shay, unforgivable. In my opinion, that alone is like, this is the end of the video. Unforgivable. I don't want to see it.
It's something really nasty to do just for like a little leg up, not even a big one.
And I mean, you see, like, yeah, yeah, like she didn't get like commendations for like kicking her addicted husband to the curb, right? Because
Right.
everybody, even up to that point, everybody was like, man, this guy's going through it. You're not a hero for doing that to your ex-husband.
And
But
he being like, and her being like, I remember that conversation even back then, everyone was like, Sheena, what the fuck? When she was like, well, you could have one or two, you like,
he
don't make
got one or two
it.
drinks,
And it's like, Jesus
and
Christ, he's an alcoholic.
he's just
Like,
dead.
the point is, people like him can't have one or two. That's the point.
Well, recovery looks very different for a lot of people, but he's like just a few months in, and it's for him to decide what he can and can't do. And the way she posted was almost like an ultimatum. Like, I cannot be with someone that's sober. You can have one or two. Like, no, ma'am, that's not how it works. You don't get to tell me what I can and can't do.
It's like if it was that easy, sweetie, like we wouldn't be here. For
And he
you,
was so
like, what
mild mannered
I,
too. I liked him.
I think that's why she got away with it with the audience, because guilty, I didn't like him back then because I was like, he's too bland, get him out of here. But now I'm like, oh, he was a person. He was just a human being that fell in love with this horrible person.
And it's like, yeah, and it's very telling that he kind of like disappeared from the public eye as soon as like he left, because it that wasn't his bad. He was just there to be supportive, and the fact that he was so supportive and Sheena was such a piece of crap.
Um, sh I
Horrendous.
will say she let go of like the best guy she's dated since.
Agreed. um but yeah, it's just like horrible. Can you imagine being this guy and like your ex-wife who used to manipulated you is still going by your last name?
No, that's insane.
And she actually did like a little, she's talked about it before, but like recently she did like a little interview where she's like, I've tried Sheena Marie to take off, but I'm just Sheena Shea. Like, that's my stage name. No, you're Sheena. You're not Sheena Shea. No one's like, oh, Sheena Shea. Everyone's just like, oh, Sheena from Ray PR.
Yeah.
It's a shitty excuse, and you know it.
Yeah.
And she also said, like, oh, actually, she's been giving a lot of excuses of why she's still Shay. And she's actually said, well, Brock's mom maiden name is Honey. So she named her daughter, her daughter's last name is Honey. It's not Brock's last name
What?
or her last name, it's
Wait,
Honey. And
what?
she's saying, like, because the thing, her last name doesn't even match her kid's name. And this would be the opportunity for you to change your, that, like, my point being is like, this would be the opportunity for you to match your kid's name.
Jesus, good luck
And she
traveling with your
refuses.
children at this point.
Yeah, she's saying it's because Brock won't change his name. But I'm like, no, but we're talking about you. You need to change your name. This is about you. Why don't you have your same kid's last name if it's about sharing your kid's last name, right?
That's crazy.
She's not freaking Madonna. She's not famous because she's Sheena Shea.
Yeah. No, she could rebrand like that. Sheena. That's it.
Sheena. Sheena Honey sounds disgusting.
Sheena Honey is like,
Sheena Marie Honey. I
that
think
sounds
I'm
even
getting it right.
better
I
than
think it is
just
Honey.
Sheena. No, Sheena Honey sounds the worst. Sheena Marie Honey, like,
That kind of, yeah.
cuts
But
it.
it's
It
but
cuts
it's
it.
bad.
Yeah. And but also it's not hers. Why would she take her husband's mom's maiden name? Like,
It's a lot of
what?
it's a lot of like crackhead energy type of behavior.
That's
It,
worse.
it it sounds like someone who's not all there is making these decisions for her, and it is her that is
I
making those decisions.
so embarrassed asking like my mother, I don't have a mother-in-law, but asking my mother-in-law for her maiden name if I could adopt. Like, that is so actually cringe.
that's the thing. If it was coming from Brock's end, I think it would be like, oh, okay, there's a cool last name. Maybe mom means a lot to them. So maybe he's initiating it, and then Sheena still has her husband's last name, so she's like, yeah, let's change it to anything else. But the fact that no one is initiating this, Brock definitely doesn't want to take that name. Sheena doesn't want to take that name. They've already given it to the daughter. It's so far removed from everyone. It's just crazy. It's crazy. Oh my god. The last name alone is not enough to get you off TV, but it's just like that like crazy behavior. It is like insane behavior.
Yeah. Like very narcissistic to be like,
It's
yeah,
like when you're like 13 and you're coming up with like usernames for MySpace.
yes, that's what I'm it's like. I would even like honor it more if it was like her being like, honey, no one has that name. She loves it for herself. And she's like, that's gonna be my chosen name. That's cool. Choose your name if you want. Making all these leaps of like, oh, his mom has that name, which is cool. So I mean, it's like, girl, just either pick your name or don't. Like, don't
Yeah.
opt these random stray people in your life's last names. That is
And
very
then don't follow,
crazy.
and then
That
at
is
least
very,
follow through.
yeah.
At
No, don't
least follow
follow
through
through.
and actually change your name because you're saying all this batshit crazy and you
Don't
still have the last name of the husband you tortured.
That's what I'm saying. That's the crazy. Both they're bundled together, wanting to take honey and being Shay. Is like, okay, you're just collecting people who you mean nothing to. You're collecting their last names. What the hell? Weird.
It's weird.
It's weird, but anyway. So what's the next one? Because
The
that is
next one is like true to your heart, and I'm gonna let you take over. Is what she did to Stassi.
yes, that is the worst thing
I
she
don't even have to go into details like what she did to Stassi.
that is the worst thing she has done. It is literally criminal. And beyond law does not equal morality. I get that. Beyond criminal, it is so highly immoral and disgusting on so many code levels. Girl code, human code, decency code. Like she I don't remember the season. You're like season 5, episode 22. I don't know, dude. I don't know the seasons, but it's when Stassi came back and there was an SEX tape of her. I hate even saying it. Scheana, and this was confirmed by many people that were there in the room and that were told by people that were there in the room. And these admissions were televised. She shared that tape with people in a like laughing like at her way, but that is like she can argue all day and night because she does. She's like, oh no, it wasn't like mocking. Yes, it was because people that were in the room were like saying she was laughing and blah blah blah. But two, I don't give an fuck why you think you showed it. There's no reason to show. You can warn people or whatever. Like there is no reason to propagate that. That is like the most disgusting thing you can do to another girl being a girl. And it's like the most pick me, disgusting, misogynistic bullshit. And how dare you, even if you hate a girl, even if she's your nemesis, even if she did something horrible to you, which Stassi did not, she was just better than her. That's all she did to her. But even if someone did something to you, to share that with other people and be like mocking it, it's like actually sickening.
Yeah, and I mean like obviously Raquel's lawsuit against Ariana and Tom are very like parallel situations,
But
but we
super
can
different. Super
very but very different. But that's what I'm saying. Like, but they're very very different. One, if Ariana shared the tapes, which I don't believe that she did, that was like out of anger and betrayal. and not in a mocking way.
Oh,
Whereas Scheana had nothing to do with the tapes and she still was sharing them to her coworkers, not even like her friends, to her coworkers
it's like
at work. She had nothing to do with what happened. And also, Scheana, like, you're being filmed. The whole argument with Rochelle's lawsuit is like they're still trying to like see if it's even a case, if
mhm.
Ariana did something, even if Tom actually filmed it without her consent, is still like being determined. Scheana absolutely knew that Stassi did not want the tapes out. She absolutely knew that Stassi was betrayed. She absolutely shared it with other people. She absolutely did it as part of the revenge, type of thing. Like she did it out of malicious intent.
And
She knew it was a secret.
just for that one, she's going straight to hell.
I
Yeah.
have others. I have others, but yeah, like I know you feel very. It's horrendous, and I honestly want to look up like at the time that it happened, was it illegal to do those things in California? Was it illegal to share
I don't know,
revenge?
but yeah, Stassi,
I want to look it up because I know.
very kind and forgiving for what she did. Very forgiving.
I mean, I would have sued her because
Straight
even if it
up.
wasn't criminal, I'm sure she could have sued her for it.
Yeah. Oh, back then, don't quote me on this, but back then, I'm sure there were a lot of laws around it, but I don't think it would have been like provable enough.
No, no,
Word of mouth because there isn't like a paper trail of her, like, I don't know.
I don't know that the law was far ahead because I know that the conversation started around that time of like, hey, this should be criminal. So I'll look up when the thing, but if it had happened now, it's for sure criminal.
Yeah. And deplorable. Back then, she got away
Oh,
with
it was deplorable back then too.
yeah,
Yeah.
no, but she got away with it. I will never fucking forget.
Honestly, Rochella missed the golden opportunity of not being in the show this
Could have
season.
thrown so much in everyone's faces except for Ariana and Katie.
She could have definitely dragged Scheana through the mud with that
Yeah.
missed opportunity for
Not
her.
strong enough to do that. She can't even
No,
speak to them, looking at them in the eye.
no, but I think if she partnered with Schwartz or Joe, which is already partnered with Joe, she has her on her podcast every other day. But if she partnered with someone that's a lot more confrontational and can think on their feet, like Schwartz can, I think I think they could have definitely.
George would have never paired up with her if she's coming after Sandoval. Are you crazy?
I don't know. I think Schwartz would absolutely partner with her if it's going against another woman in the cast. I
Oh,
do.
that specific Scheana situation, yeah.
Yes, that specifically. If she was going, if Rochella could have gone
Yeah, yeah,
against
yeah.
Scheana,
Yeah,
yeah. And I think Schwartz would have facilitated that confrontation in order to facilitate Rochella filming
being
with
there.
Tom.
Yeah, totally.
Because Schwartz was in there trying to get everyone to forgive Tom too. So I think it would have worked for everyone. Well, Schwartz and Rochella. I think it would have worked.
Yeah, I wish she had been in there.
Yeah, and then they could have had Joe could have had a friend, and then Billy Lee could have had a friend because she was in like maybe 2 minutes of the show, and that's like a cumulative 2 minutes of the show. Um, I don't know, but yeah, Scheana, terrible, horrible. Let's keep going.
Yeah,
Um,
next one.
the next one is she married Brooke.
For
Like,
sure.
it's not as
Red flag. Red flag, dude. What the hell?
it's not as bad as other stuff, but like think about it, like what was the show that they appeared on? The George Lopez show. They appeared in the George Lopez show, the family show that they have. Yes, I sent you the clip.
Oh, I know that clip. I just didn't realize it was the George Lopez show.
Yeah, he has a new family show. I don't know what it's about or anything. I don't
Peacock.
like
Yeah.
George Lopez anymore. But
Yeah, me either.
but they were in the family show. I honestly I like his comedy, but he's just like not a good person, and
Exactly.
he
I love him.
tears a lot of people down, and he's like a self-hating Mexican. So that's what I don't like about him. But
That I don't like that his wife got fucked after she gave him her kidney.
oh, that too. No, he's a horrible person.
Yeah,
He tears people down.
yeah, including
Um,
some people. But he
so
profits
maybe
from them.
so maybe it does make sense that Sheena and Brock are on his show.
It's
But
like
like whatever
it's a-
show they were on the clip. Whatever Sheena does, she's gonna bring her horrible husband along. Her horrible husband. That's what it is.
for now, because it's looking strained.
Maybe. But she's dragging that lump across the stage, and he is, by his own admission, his wife. Like hit her, right? That's
Absolutely. Absolutely, he has admitted to assaulting his wife. Full stop.
and abandoned his children. When he said like, okay, like I'm no lo- I am current on my child support. I think he kind of had to do that to kind of calm down the backlash. I don't honestly think he wants to support his children. And like
If
emotionally, physically, you still abandoned your
yes,
children.
yes,
He's a horrible person.
yeah.
And he clearly doesn't want to be that involved in his kid's life if he's like complaining about being a stay-at-home dad.
And go no, of course not. And going along with that is as proof of this point of him abandoning his children is like being a point against Sheena. That conversation Sheena just had about how she gave him a second chance at being a father, and then it came out that his first daughter's name is Winter, and
Oh,
she,
that came on before that
yeah,
came
but
out
all of it
before she gave
together,
birth.
I know, but the cluster is like, and Sheena chose to name their daughter Summer, and she chose to induce birth on the other daughter's birthday. It is absolutely insanity. Like, absolutely, like, that is actually like like a novel, like a horror novel.
She married
That's like a
a
Stephen King,
horrible.
dude. That's a Stephen King novel. Being like a wife, like inducing labor on the like day of like it's like what is coming next? This is like some misery shit. Crazy.
She married a horrible man. One, and then a separate point is she's a horrible stepmother.
She enables this. Yes, she
How do
enables
you,
him being a deadbeat.
as a stepmom, how do you marry someone and not have a relationship with your stepkids? I wouldn't be able to do it
How could
unless
she?
the
He
stepkids were
doesn't.
like late teens, and I'm talking late, like 17 teens,
Yeah.
and they're like more autonomous, and the kids don't want anything to do with you. But how do you marry someone that's a bad dad?
Yes. That
And how you, as a stepmom, just basics, don't have a relationship with your stepkids. Like you don't.
beyond that,
Oh,
how do you enable him being a deadbeat and
yeah.
you in a way reward it by being like, that's fine, scrap, start over. I'm giving you the chance to
Oh,
start over.
yeah.
You can't scrap a family. What are you talking about?
At the fact that like, oh, you don't have a relationship with your stepkids, and I'm giving you a second chance, and let's name the kid Summer, and then let's have her on your other daughter's birthday, which is weird that she's so focused on the daughter's birthday and not the son. It's very like misogyny coded that she seems to be very like, a lot of the hurt is like there's extra hurt against the daughter sharing a birthday with your half sister and sharing a name type, and it's weird. It's just weird.
So weird.
That really is like Scheana nowhere on earth would be the hero of any story.
And no, no.
But she's also just not smart enough to be a good villain. Because you know how we spoke about, like, man, Stassi would be really good on the Valley, but she would be a villain. Like, if she came to the.
Because there's the hero, the villain. The hero is an Ariana type. The villain is a Stassi type, like a good villain that you like.
Yeah,
Stassi type. There and then there's the other. There's the villain
the
that you
henchman.
no, it's like the villain, but they don't know they're the villain. They're not profiting from being the villain. You just they're hateable and they're fun to laugh at. And that's what Scheana is. But she's been giving the allowance for so many years of not being that because of people like Sandoval who are like who have been like excusing her and being like, or like just people have been like, oh, don't be mean to Scheana. Don't slut shame Scheana. Don't blah 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 Scheana. And at the end of the day, now it's like, don't tell she's making out with Schwartz while he's dating Katie. She's like backstabbing her best friend. She's like planning some weird revenge about a 1-year-old or something. I don't know, Winter.
Well,
She's like
unpopular
doing all these
opinion.
weird things that it's like she is a real life villain. She's not like a Stassi villain. She's
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
a real life villain that you want to and love to see fail.
I I don't want to see her at all. I want her.
I didn't see her fail.
I want her to fail out of TV. I
That,
don't want to see her on
that
TV.
that's what I'm saying.
Well, okay, so you said something, an unpopular opinion. Sandoval was the only one holding her accountable this season. Because the only hate Scheana got was
You're
from
right.
Sandoval calling her a homewrecker, which she is. It's not even
No,
like
wait,
unfounded.
no, Katie. Katie kept being like, "What the? Why are you hanging out with it? I don't sympathize. Don't cry at me."
Katie did call her out a lot. You're right. Katie did hold her accountable for a bit, but she could have um, definitely called her out harder.
I
But
I disagree. I think she called her out as hard as she was allowed to by the group. She got so much pushback for even what she did.
did she get pushback?
Yes,
Well,
a lot of pushback from Lala specifically.
oh yeah, from Lala. But like, what is Lala gonna do? She's gonna pop her? No.
No, of course not. But she's getting like pushback in these group settings.
You know, you're right. She was getting a lot of like, just a lot of hate and
Yeah,
just aggression. She was getting a lot of aggression that was
the
completely unwarranted.
the language towards her was like she's so miserable. She's the old hat.
Well, when Lala went and like put her finger in her face, and the fact that Katie was like, "Get your finger out of my face," but that was earlier season, right? So
No,
what I
but
was gonna say, she could have definitely pushed harder, but she obviously didn't know what Scheana was saying in these
yeah,
confessionals, right? So like yeah, I can see that, and like in my mind, I'm saying like, oh, she could have pushed harder, but no, the podcasts were after they filmed, the confessionals weren't shown to them then. So yeah, yeah, I see your point. Yeah, no, Katie for sure held her accountable, but still, unpopular opinion, Sandoval was actually like, obviously it was just to
agree.
deflect blame. I'm not saying like Sandoval did it out of the goodness of his
No,
heart or to
no,
hold
no.
anyone accountable. He was just deflecting.
Yes.
But the fact that he's like, you know what? Stop it. Get off my case. You're a homewrecker.
Yep.
Valid.
It's like, yes, both are right. You are a piece of shit with a mustache, and she is that. So it's like
Yeah.
win-win in that
And that's
argument.
why they get along. But also,
Yeah.
it's even more disgusting that like she wants to be friends so badly with the only person that's attacking her for her past.
Yes. It's so weird. That is the weirdest part. Is she's trying so hard and he's the only one being mean to her.
That's not enough to like get you off the show by any means, but all the stuff we've listed is just horrendous. Yeah, we're definitely sprinkling in commentary along with the
Yeah.
facts, right? But yeah, no.
Okay, so
Yeah.
what's the next
Or
one?
we have and going into what happened this last year, season 10 and season 11, Scheana, for a fact, filmed, broadcast to the world the two people in the last year. First one being Raquel, second being Joe. Because she can argue all she wants. I can't make a fist. And Rochelle dropped the lawsuit, which is also like, Rochella, if you want to go against someone,
Someone
go
do
after Scheana.
not Ariana.
Slam dunk Scheana.
Yeah.
Because like
Whatever.
I can't make a
I don't
fist
care.
and I didn't do it and I did do it. She confessed
To
several times that she shoved her.
yes.
That's still a, and maybe we're forgetting it because it's a push, but it's a it's a very straightforward assault.
And then fast forward to Joe. We may not like her. Again, we don't like Rochella, but nevertheless, a shove is a shove. Okay, fast forward, Joe. We don't like Joe. Well, what she did to her with the hat thing is disgusting. And didn't you say you researched it and it is
Oh
legal?
no, yeah, I in my mind is like no, like touching someone's personal belongings like that they're wearing,
Yeah.
like right, but I'm like, I'm gonna double check knocking a phone out of someone's hand, which I should think she did to Richella too, is like what she did with the hat and not giving it back. You called it bullying. I called it, oh, I forgot it, casing. But it's like either one, either whatever we call it, it's. I realized that we did throw around the word ASS alt a little bit too liberally. And I just want to say that depending on the state, is whether that action can be considered as such. For example, in Texas, it would definitely be considered ASS alt if Scheana had reasonably or could reasonably think that Joe found her hat being taken off as offensive. And I'll let you determine if that's the case based on the scene on VPR. And by the way, we are from Texas, which is why we're making so many assumptions, wrongfully so, based on our state law. I did do some research based on California law, and I've added a couple of examples on screen. Basically, it depends on how the courts would look at it, whether Scheana taking Joe's hat would be considered battery or civil harassment. Either way, it looks like it is still an illegal action. And I also want to include that we're not lawyers or law experts. This is not fact. We're just speculating and opinioning and shooting the shit. We're here for the giggles.
And it's
I
like,
mean, we're looking at that way, like you've people in the span of a year.
and you can tell the intent, and it was like obviously malicious intent. So it wasn't like a friend taking a hat away. Like, no, it was nasty. It was like you taking the extra step of like disliking someone into basically engaging with them negatively.
Yeah, I
Like
mean,
that is like you're unhinged. Like
it doesn't.
what's next?
It's unhinged behavior, and it's something that like if you saw it like at a grocery store and someone did that to you, you would feel
Crazy.
threatened.
Absolutely.
But it doesn't have to cause physical harm to be assault. It's very straightforward. You took something off of someone's person without their consent, but also you were on film causing like mental emotional distress.
Yeah.
Whether Joe pretended that it was distress or she was actually distressed. That's something that we argued a little bit, but like it still was like you were causing distress, and even if you hadn't caused distress, it's still like the mere act is assault.
Yeah.
And I say it in the span of a year because like yeah, the affair broke out in March 2023, and they had already stopped filming by March 2023. So they'd already filmed that scene. I don't know if they stopped filming, but they filmed that scene by March of this year. So like in the span of a year, you assaulted two people that we know of.
That we
And
know.
there is recorded proof. Do we have to say allegedly? I mean, allegedly, the footage of her removing the hat.
Yeah.
The footage of her taking Joe's hat and the footage of her admitting to pushing Rachel that exists.
Yeah.
And allegedly, right? Like we're making that distinction.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just gross. It's just gross. So yeah, it's like I mean that's it. Those are all my arguments. I think that those are enough for you to not be in a family show at least.
Yeah.
If not off TV altogether.
Yeah.
Especially because you're not even liked by most people.
Yeah.
Right? Because we do have other housewives that have done similar.
But it's like, and people that make
things.
better TV have gotten booted for less.
That's true.
So it's like,
Yeah, but I'm thinking like Schwartz throwing the drink.
yeah.
Like we hate Schwartz and everything, but that
No,
I don't know.
could be off
That's
it too. I don't give a fuck. He could be off it too.
no, yeah, but I'm saying like one, I think it's a little different. He should definitely be off.
They're both on my shit list. I don't think they're that
No,
different.
no, but I like I'm just comparing it with other TV that are like, okay, they're doing these things for the cameras, and you can kind of compare that to what Scheana did to Joe on camera. But what she did to Rochella was not on camera. That was very in real life. You pushed her.
Yeah.
Yeah, because one can make the argument of like, oh, it was
But
for
you know
film, they
what?
were in on it or whatever, or they signed up for it. Well, I don't agree, but there's certain arguments of things that happen on film. But
Yeah.
some of the stuff that Scheana did was most definitely not for TV. This is her genuinely awful self.
And I know that this list was in chronological order, but I for myself do want to say like this last one, the I don't care about. That's not even to me the biggest one.
I know you. I know which one is the biggest one. Like we all know.
No, but like honestly, like okay, I would truthfully like I could see myself pushing someone.
No, but um,
But it's everything together for me. Same thing with the home wrecking point. It's like, okay, not that I don't like it, and but the worst part about it is the hypocrisy. But it's like, okay, but it's all of it together that is like, wow,
it's all
dude,
of it
like get out of
together.
here.
Well, that's I do think the alone are enough for you to like not be on a family show where like kids may watch. Um,
Wait,
actually,
look,
don't. It's a
PPR
family
is
show. It
not a.
looks like a no, because she was on the George Lopez show.
Oh, okay.
Because she's
Oh,
getting
the
these
George
opportunities.
Lopez. Yeah, the George
She's
Lopez.
getting these opportunities, and the minute I saw it, this is what inspired this. Just like the minute I saw it, I'm like, this woman does not need to be exposed to minors.
Yeah, you're right.
And speaking of minors, we completely missed what she's doing to her daughter on Insta.
Okay, I'll say that point super quick, but yes, because it's not also, it's like, okay, if it was just this, you'd be like, is it malicious? But the thing is, at this point, with as much conversation as there is about this topic, it shouldn't be happening. She has a public account for her daughter, who is a toddler. What is like two? I don't know. I don't know how old she like
Toddler.
teeny tiny, a little teeny tiny baby girl. And it's like this public account, and people have been warning like mommy bloggers, and she's leaning into this mommy blogger thing so much and like publishing so much about her daughter Summer. And it's like, and like making trying to like make her out like a persona to follow. And it's like there is so much conversation around this that it's like if you just wanted to document something like benevolent, document your daughter, share it with the people that love your daughter, then make it a private account that only follow my I have like a friend that does this. Only like a few friends and family are allowed to follow it. But at this point, it's like she has published so many pictures of her daughter to the public, and there's like so much conversation about these like baby profiles and toddler profiles having so many saves, and especially saves on like pictures of them like at the beach with like swimsuits and like weird things like that have so many. Why is anyone like hundreds of saves? Why is any stranger, let's say just even like whatever picture, not being specific, why is a stranger saving a picture of your daughter? And recently she got in trouble a couple weeks ago because she published a picture of her daughter like with minimal clothing, and immediately people were like, stop, like delete this, like what are you doing, like. And so but she did delete it, which proves like it's like you're not even QAing what you're putting out to the public about your daughter. Like, think about what you're doing. All for what?
Yeah.
Likes, validation, attention, money? Like, what are you doing? It's disgusting. This mommy blogging thing. Someone just got in trouble. There was like many, many, many mommy bloggers have gotten in trouble, but there was one recently that got in trouble because they like because of the amount of saves that their daughter's content was getting, and like the type of content that was like seemingly benevolent, and like the daughter obviously like thought it was benevolent, but it was like
Yeah.
specific, I'll just say like specific content,
No,
like
yeah, I
innuendo
mean, we were just looking at it, and like these
innuendo
children
content.
are appearing in like places like predatory websites. And mommy bloggers are made aware of it, and they continue to do it. And the fact that Scheana is a celebrity in her own right, she does not need to be monetizing her kid, like not for money,
No.
not for anything, but she is monetizing her child. It's not even on her own profile. She has her own profile. The fact that I wouldn't even be aware that her kid has a profile, except that she announced it and advertised it on VPR by saying, "Oh, how dare Tom unfollow my child?" Which is like, why do you want Sandoval to follow your child? I don't understand how anyone is following your child.
Yes. When she got offended, I'm like, girl, shut up. Why? You shouldn't even have told us your child has an account like that. Why? And why do you
Yeah,
grown man to follow your child?
honestly, Sandoval was really leaning in on Scheana, and I don't like. Yeah, if that's your redemption route, that's your redemption route. But
Yeah.
the minute that she brought that up, is like, Tom, why did you unfollow? What's her face?
What?
Tom, yeah, and Tom did say, and I don't remember if it was on the VPR or like in an interview or whatnot, or maybe the Vital Files, but he said like, yeah, I just unfollowed a bunch of people, and I guess she was in the mix. Literally, that would have been his
What?
opportunity to be like, I do not need to be following a toddler. I think it's problematic. I have nothing against the child, but I'm doing a redemption arc, or like I'm redeeming myself, and I think that this is problematic. I don't want to be part of this situation.
Yes. Actually, obviously,
And everybody would have loved that answer.
I'm not a fan of Tom's, but him unfollowing a child is actually one of the better things he's done ever.
It's one of the best judgment calls he's made.
Reasonable. It's
But I
reasonable.
don't know if he went in and followed the child again. So I don't know. I don't know. But like that's the thing. If you had listened to your damage control and or just had a little bit more brain in the game, then you could have
Brain in the
just gone
game.
through that angle. You could have gone through that angle and been like, yeah. And a lot of people that are against Sandoval because of his problematic behavior would have said like, you know what, this is very problematic, and we like that he's at least acknowledging that this thing shouldn't occur. I don't know what's.
No, we can't see it. But I don't know if you understand how much I'm gonna use brain in the game now. You ain't got brain in the game right now. Or like put some brain in the game. Or
Oh,
she
you're
really brought the brain in the game.
brain in the game. Oh, that's funny. No, it's just I don't know. Yeah, her mommy vlogging is gross. This is gross.
Very gross.
And
that is my last.
people know where she lives. People know where she lives. She's not this random, which like there is this TikTok account, this guy that based on a single photo will find your location,
I hate
date
that.
and time of the photo, just one
that.
photo.
Oh my God.
And he's done so many TikToks. And the other day I saw one. The other day, I want to look for his name. I don't know if I find it. But the other day there was someone that posted their dinner because they got, what is it called when you order from the hotel? Room service. They got room service. And they just took a picture of their meal, and it's literally just like a plate on a table and the meal. And he was able to find exactly the hotel room, like down to the number, the exact number of the room.
Dude, that's not okay.
And it was like in a different country too. It was like, and because they were posting about their trip, he was also able to pinpoint like exactly what day, like they, not even like down to the chain, like the exact hotel, because it's a chain hotel, but it's the exact hotel in the exact city, the exact very very room and the date. It based on one photo, and he does that with all sorts of accounts. This isn't even the case. Scheana publicizes that she just purchased the house, and then she publicized that she just purchased another house, and people know exactly where she lives. And then she's posting her kid in a bathing suit. It's demented. The lengths that this woman will go for money.
Or
to be a danger to your
or
child.
actually, I think like attention more than money.
And this isn't even like, I've seen a lot of mommy blogs that I feel do it right. And some that I'm like, ooh, I don't know if I would do that. But they don't do it to this degree that she is doing it. Because I really like, I do follow some mommy blogs where like they'll show the kid's hands and their voice in the background, but not the kid itself.
Oh,
so you
yeah,
don't see, right? Or ones where like your show, like mommy blogs where like occasionally they'll show pictures of their kids, like if they went out to do something, but in the videos the kids will never be in the video at all.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and they're just showing activities or certain meals that they prepared, or things like that. There's one that cooks with her kid, and you can see the kid cooking, but like you never see their face. Yeah. And it's cute. And it's sad that you have to do this because kids are super cute, but you kind of have to pick what's more important. And if you're a mom that's trying to make it work, I can see how that's a more difficult situation and decision for certain people. I don't know what kind of economic situation they're in, But Scheana is not in that situation.
No.
We cannot
Yeah.
we cannot be like, oh my God, let people be. Scheana's being all over the place. She needs to pick a lane, and like causing harm to her child is not it.
Yeah. Yep.
So yeah. So
Absolutely.
yeah, it's cumulative, all the things, and the fact that she started with like her morality at ground zero and has yet to change. She has made no progress. She continues to do garbage things to people in her life. Like she's just complete garbage, basically. She's never changed. Just very consistent in her garbageness.
Yeah, it's everything together.
She's been the same person from beginning to end. And I do believe that the things that she's done are egregious enough to not give her a platform.
I agree.
Plus, she's not talented. Plus, she's not talented or well liked. So why does she get a
Yes.
platform?
Yep.
I was actually, when she got the Chili's commercial, she says that they approached her because she used to be a waitress at Chili's. Chili's approached her, and then she said, "Oh, Katie would be perfect for it." Right? She said that. But when the first time I haven't seen that interview. I saw the Chili's commercial, and I thought, of course they picked Katie for this. Katie was the obvious choice.
Same. Same.
Right. So I'm just like, man, even in the deals that you're booking yourself, there's like better people to do that job.
And who knows if that's even accurate, what she said.
Yeah, who knows? Because Katie's very, very civil outside of VPR. I mean, she's very civil in VPR, but she's been very, very
Yeah, she
non-confrontational.
has. No, but I mean, even if Katie herself thinks that that's true and thinks Scheana for that, who knows if they approached her in that way or if they approached her being like, hey,
Or they approached both
her
of them.
manager being like, let's cut a deal with her and Katie.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like that could be the case. Like Katie
Or
is super
whatever,
diplomatic.
or whatever variable. It's
Yeah,
like, who knows? Or maybe it is exactly as she said it, whatever. The point is, when the audience sees it, they're like, well, we could go without Scheana.
yeah.
Bring
Katie was pretty good.
bring back Katie for a margarita in the fall or something. I don't know.
I think that Applebees should bring in Katie to do other tequila drinks that are not espresso and tequila. Because
No, Chili's probably has like a
I'm I mean, I went through my like coffee drinks in my day, like liquor coffee drinks in my day, and espresso with tequila sounds disgusting. I don't even need to try
but
it.
there's a lot of espresso with tequila drinks that are good. I don't know about
I've
this
never had one.
specific one.
I've I've gone through several coffee and like alcohol drinks back when I still drank tequila, and this martini sounds disgusting.
I
This
could
does.
see it working, but I don't like tequila, but I could see it working.
I mean, I don't like martinis either, so I don't know if
I love martinis.
there you go. But yeah, no, I like, yeah, I would love to see something else, especially because Ariana came out with a cocktail book. Applebee's, get on it.
Oh, Ariana, yeah.
Ariana with Katie,
Ooh.
and you know what? It could.
Oh,
Okay,
Katie probably has a non-compete with Chili's.
maybe, maybe.
Guarantee it.
Okay, pitch idea. If let's pretend that commercial doesn't exist. Pitch idea. Applebee's gives Ariana a commercial for cocktails, and Katie does the sandwiches.
Ooh. Oh my God. And it's a combo. Cocktail and a sandwich. I
Because
go.
these places usually have like, their little poster with like, look at our drinks, look at our food.
Yeah. I would love that. Oh my God, I would go to Applebee's for like a sandwich and a cocktail.
I kind of want to go to Applebee's now because I haven't been to Applebee's in a long time.
Either years.
I'm talking about, yeah, I 2008.
Wow.
Yeah. But if I think drinks, I think Applebee's. I don't think Chili's.
Chili's has good drinks.
Yeah, but I've heard, I mean I don't go to either, but
I go to
but
Chili's.
if but I've heard more about Applebee's drinks than Chili's drinks.
Really? Hmm.
Yeah, because when I hear Chili's, I was like baby back ribs, not like their food, not their drinks, and their TVs. They don't even have that many TVs. But
They have a lot of drinks though, like good
I
ones.
know they do. I know. I understand they do. But
Like
when I hear about it,
crazy margaritas.
I've just never heard someone be like, "Oh, I guess I have been like The Office has that episode where Pam
Yeah.
gets too drunk."
No, but
But
there's a lot of
I
them.
still heard more about people going to get Applebee's drinks, and more recently. Anyway, that's off the rails.
Yeah, we went off
Yeah.
of like Chili's or Applebee's.
All right. So yeah, Scheana consistently through the years, garbage person and has not changed. She was terrible knowingly to Brandy.
Yeah.
She was horrendous to Shay
Horrible.
and was horrible during his recovery. She was a terrible wife. She is now married to a terrible person that does not need to be on TV.
Yeah. Bad
She's a
stepmother.
terrible stepmother.
Yes.
She's arguably a terrible mother, or at least cannot.
Irresponsible with her daughter's social media presence.
At
Very,
the very least,
very negligent.
some, ourselves included, would call that bad mothering.
Yeah,
But
absolutely. I'll stand by that.
and she has committed acts that we consider could be criminal.
Yes.
Like sharing, distributing Stassi's SEX tape. I'm like having trouble spelling these three-letter words.
Yeah.
Sharing the tape knowingly, like knowing that it was being distributed without her consent and
Yes.
maliciously just sharing it in the workplace with Stassi's work colleagues, not just Scheana's work colleagues, but Stassi's work colleagues. She, by her admission, pushed Raquel, which could constitute assault. She knowingly harassed Joe and removed her hat, which could constitute. Like, this is something that should not give you a public platform.
Absolutely. I agree. Yeah.
I don't think she should be on reality TV, but she should definitely not be on a family show. And she should definitely not be in commercials where other people outside of reality could see them, where the general public could see them. Because maybe some people sign up for reality shows to see the drama and the mess, but like children could be watching this.
Yeah, and she just doesn't deserve that platform.
As a brand, why would you want to associate with Scheana and her heinous acts?
And it's like, okay, we've established like all these things, horrible things she has done publicly. And then on top of that, talentless. So it's like, where's the pros? Like, what the math ain't mathing. Get her off the TV.
Yeah.
It's my opinion!
Like,
For those
subscribe.
reasons, we think she should be off TV.
Why do you always end like that?
When I say it, I think of like a science fair project. It's like the conclusion is you like get together the theory and the hypothesis.
Boom, roasted.